Okay, so now we talked about product photography and the light source and lighting. When we photograph people, we can light from the side to create what we call split light. I'm going to turn the light off back there so that you don't see that extra fill light that's coming in. So you just see the light that's on me. So the cool thing about this light source is half of me is lit and half of me is in shadow. Never set straight to the camera. The camera's right here. The light source is to my right side. I turn my knees at a 45-ish towards that, and my chin and head go this way. Even with glasses on, you're not seeing reflection in my glasses when you do the proper lighting setups. So right now, I'm doing what we call split light. This side should be dark, and this side should be light. And I'm going to check that for just a second. I can flip the screen out so I can do that, so I'm going to do that real quick. So let's see if I'm getting it like I want it. Okay, like I said, side light, see how half of my face is in perfect light? This is called split light. And again, my knees turn this way, my chest is towards the light, sort of, but not like square to it, but at an angle. It's kind of contrapposto. Everybody looks better a little twisted, not square to the camera. That's why your license pictures look so terrible. My chin and my nose need to go right at the camera lens as the model. And if you're directing your model, which you should as a photographer, say, hey, can you turn your chin this way? And then, oh, tilt your head this, blah, blah, blah. So you can get them to square up by directing them like that. Okay, positions of the light. So we talked about the back circle for product. This main light right here is to the side of me. Now, this is a very wide angle lens. You would shoot in tighter, and this would give you what we call split light, and it would be from about the waist up. It's a 3/4 shot, a head shot's what we're talking about for this basic lighting. So to your side, this could be window light with diffusion. This could be sunlight with diffusion, but your light source needs to be to your side to create half light, half dark, split light. You can't do this when it is super, not at noon, because the light's right above you and it's not good light for that time of day. But in the morning or in the evening, set your subject to the side of the sun is over here, and the other side is in the shade, and so you get split light. The next one is, this is going to come forward just a little bit. It's not going to turn. Some people like to turn the light source towards the subject, but it's going to come up the circle, okay, up the circle. It's going to move about 2 feet this direction, up to an angle. So I'm going to move the light right now so you can see this. These other hands out of the way. And it's literally just coming up circle. So I'm going to bring this up the circle. The thing I don't like to do for Rembrandt, I don't like my light to point towards the subject. A lot of people will take the light, instead of it coming across the front, you see my glasses? I can turn this way, and you're not going to see reflection in my glasses. What you should see eventually is just a little bit of light on my cheek and a little bit of light in my eye over here. And that's what we call Rembrandt lighting. And my knees are this way, my chin is towards the camera and down to catch that light in my eye and that little triangle of light on my cheek right here. That's called Rembrandt. And it's literally just coming forward. It can go straight across still, like this. A lot of people will turn the light towards the subject. You don't need to do that. If you keep it square and have it raking across the front, it's going to be a much more beautiful Rembrandt lighting. So it went from side to just a little bit far forward, and it's going to go straight across to wrap that pretty light around and get my Rembrandt triangle and eye light right there. Okay, so that's Rembrandt. The only difference between Rembrandt, I take my knees as a model and I change them to the other side like so, turning my head and my chest back a little bit, and this is called broad because the broad side of my shoulder is the direction the light is coming on. Got to turn that chin back until you see that triangle of light in the eye right there. and that gives you broad, which is the same lighting setting, just the model changes their knees, and it's the shoulder closest to the light source. So that's broad. Rembrandt, broad. Nothing changes in the light, just the model changes the direction of their knees, and they may have to rack their head around just to get that little bit of eye and that little bit of light in the eye and that little cheek of light. The rest of it still should be somewhat darker, like a Rembrandt painting. The cool thing is you probably aren't seeing much reflection in my glasses, and I have round glasses which are very difficult to light. But because the light is going across, not angled at me, it is not reflecting back into the camera, which is awesome. Now the sun could be doing this, and again, you just use a diffusion here. You just make sure that the subject is back some from the main angle of the light to get that Rembrandt, little bit of light on this eye here, and a little bit of triangle of light on this upper cheek here, okay? That's Rembrandt. Now we're gonna come up and we're gonna do what we call, it's the nose, and it's the loop shadow from my nose. So I'm gonna come up, and this time I am gonna angle my light at a 45. So I'm coming around the circle, and I'm going about a 45 to my subject. And this time I am angling the light back in towards the subject. And this time it should be lighting the face pretty well with a shadow of my schnoz right here. I don't want to look into that light because I don't want the reflection. It's going to be difficult, and I can't really see it because I'm back here away from the camera, but I think I've got it pretty good. You should see illumination on this side of my face, but I'm getting a shadow, a loop shadow of my nose right here. And that's why we call it loop light, and it's coming up the circle to about a 45-degree angle, okay? So this is, it can go either side and come up to the axis. Main axis is over the camera. So we're going from the side to get the split light, coming up a little bit to get Rembrandt. Our knees are towards the light, our chest is towards the light, our chin is back towards the camera and down. And you should sit tall so that we have torso and shape and everything. And then it comes on up and we get the loop shadow, which is what you're seeing right now. This is about a 45-degree angle for me. The next position is going to come right above the camera, literally just above the camera. And this is, again, the sunlight could be there with a diffusion to cut that harshness. So maybe you move your subject in relationship to the light, thinking of that circle. So there's side, Rembrandt, loop, 45, and then straight ahead and up at an angle down is going to be what we call butterfly light. And this creates a little shadow under the nose. So I'm going to show you that next. I'm going to move the light here, and I'm going to show you kind of in front of you first, and then I'll pull it back. So it's literally at the same exact angle as the camera here. It's just going to come up higher and lift it up high, 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 high. And it's angled down so that the camera can shoot underneath it. And if I kind of pull this back so you guys can kind of see this, I'm going to back up so you can see what I'm doing here. See how that is over the camera? I'm going to kind of go up so you can kind of see how high up it is, and it's straight down onto the subject. I'm going to move the chair straight ahead so you can kind of see all of that. And then you, as a photographer, would just put your camera, see the edge of the modifier? You put it right underneath that and photograph your model. Okay? So you want to have your camera at the eye level of the model. I'm a little low with our video here, but it's going to be kind of like this, and it's a little wide-angled, a little bit different. I'm going to put it on this side of the camera, of the light, I mean, and that way I can flip the screen out and see what you guys see, and we'll realign it with me in just a second. So this axis we call Paramount, as in Paramount movie theater, movie house. Again, I'm going to turn my standard, whatever I started on, this is the side I'm going to have my legs pointed to, not sideways, but at a 45. And then this is going to give you a really good, even, beautiful light, chiseling cheeks, and a little shadow under the nose. And that little shadow under the nose is what we call the butterfly. And hopefully I'm not getting a bunch of glare on my glasses. I can't see it from here, but it should be pretty good. If it's not, I would go up and angle it down a little bit more to avoid that reflection in my glasses, or take my chin down some more. And so you should see this little shadow underneath my nose that we call the butterfly. Paramount means it's giving you this beautiful chisel. I don't have a chin, but it gives me cheekbones and a chin. And I actually this is beautiful for most people. So this is called paramount, and it's straight above the camera, angling down towards the person's face. They don't want to look up, because people do this all the time. They look up, number one, we're looking up your nostrils. We don't want to do that. Don't say that to them, but guide them away from that, because that's not a pretty picture. Your camera level should be up a little higher. Right now, it should be at my eye level. You should always be shooting at the eye level of your subject, okay, when you're photographing a person. These are just standards. These are standard positions, but did you notice how we went from the side? Rembrandt is a little bit up, and then loop is a 45, and now we're on access, which is just above the camera, and up to shoot down on the subject. So that's on access, and this is called paramount or butterfly lighting. And notice how we're going up the circle with people. So this gets rid of I don't even have my hair decent today, but that's okay. If my hair were down, you would see all kinds of prettiness of this and all that. With your models, you'll want to do that, okay? This is your bread and butter. You can be a headshot photographer for corporations, for industry, for all kinds of amazing things. People make a great living doing these lighting standards. So this is paramount, which is right above and at an angle down so that we get that pretty little butterfly. It may be causing me some reflection, and if I look down a little bit, it'll go away. These are round glasses, which are the hardest to light. If you get it high enough, straight up enough, and at an angle, it won't reflect back into your camera. I think we're going to be okay. I can't see a bunch of shine. I think you can see through to my face now. Now the next one is called clamshell or beauty. So this light stays the same. We have it angling down, and then we just want to take a reflector, and it can be a big one or a little one. See, here's a reflector, and I want to reflect. Think of it like a clamshell. Think of it like a beauty compact like so. So your light is here, your reflection is here, and you're shooting between these two things with the camera. Right now you can see it in the frame, but it would be about like this to then fill in underneath me. Do you see how that's uplighting into my face? And this would, remember, if we're at half, it would be more like down here. And it actually will be more this effect when you shoot through it. You won't be seeing this in the foreground, but do you see how much it opens up underneath my chin? And then we call that beauty. Now it may be reflecting into my glasses, but we're taking the reflector and we're slightly bending it to create kind of a curve. They call that an eyeliner. You can pay a lot of money for that, or you can just simply hold this and curve it, or have someone hold it for your subject and curve it to people even, like this. And then you can angle it like a compact, and that is beauty light or clamshell. And the clamshell has to do with this being reflecting up to fill in the shadows and that beautiful paramount coming down. And if the model sits upright and has her chin down, it's kind of the most flattering, most beautiful shot. A lot of cosmetic, a lot of beauty shots are done this way. And that is the top of the circle from one side, and you could do the same on the other side. Either side would be fine. This is your main light that I'm teaching you how to do. And then we're reflecting in for clamshell beauty. Now, if you want to see some of the kind of cool things that they do with sports photography, that back angle light that I had on the product, you could put 2 back angle lights at a 45 and create edge lighting down the side of your model with 3 lights, and you get that kind of really cool sporty look where there's an edge and separation of the hair. Another thing they'll do is sometimes put a hair light up above, separating the hair from the background. But the main light is what I care about you getting, whether you use sunlight with diffusion. And when I say diffusion, these little reflectors here, if I can find the zippers, there they are. These little reflectors have a centerpiece. This is a 5-in-1 reflector, which is what you want to get You can get them on Amazon. There's a gold side, there's a white side, and then there is a translucent side. And this is what you can use with the sunlight. If you don't have lighting, you can use this instead. If you get a couple of these or get one of these, and you can use it with the sunlight, okay? And that is lighting standards, all right? We'll take a look and hopefully I can get this up online for y'all tonight.